We've got a 10-race card this Saturday afternoon to look forward to at Sha Tin as we tick over the halfway mark of season 2017-2018 here in Hong Kong. Here's what's coming up on this edition of HK Direct. And the race we'll preview is the final event on the card, the Bahamian Handicap Class 2 Sprint over 1,200 metres. Plus, we look at the horses we should be focusing on for the remainder of the season. We chat with our experts and our participants about who they think we should be focusing on. Tom Biddington from the South China Morning Post is our special guest. And Tom, a lot to look forward to about this weekend. The last race should be a cracker.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. It's great to be here. And yeah, really looking forward to that last race.
Absolutely. Looking at the premierships this season too, we're over halfway, so plenty of time, but it's going to be hard to get past Moreira and Size. Yeah,
there was some hope early in the season that maybe freshman trainer Frankie Law could surprise, or Zach Purton could go on and win his second premiership, but Joe Moreira and John Size look far too good.
They'll be combining with House of Fun on Saturday, who's one of the runners in our highest class race for the afternoon, the Bahamian Handicap Class 2 over 1,200 metres, field of 12 to line up. There is House of Fun with the top weight. Fabulous One was in Dubai this time last year. Perpetual Joints is in great form. Pavlovsky racing well, but better known as an all-weather track specialist. Jolly and Marvel Tribe are both coming back from freshen-ups. Key Witness was flying home last time out. Dylan Moe takes 7 pounds off his back. California Fortune, an impressive winner at his latest outing. Seven Heavens has his first run in Hong Kong. We'll look more closely at him shortly. Momentum Lucky and Wonderful Journey are the two with the lightweights down the bottom. So we can go to the touchscreen, Tom, and have a look at a few of these in action. We're going to go back to the Bahamian Sprint Trophy at Group 3 level. Fabulous One leading. I thought he was brave in this race. House of Fun, he's been consistent, but he's yet to win this season. And My Little Friend is out in the middle part of the track here. What did you think here? Fabulous One, 1,200 metres. Is that a bit of a concern for you? Because he doesn't seem to finish off his races.
It's certainly going to be a challenge for him. He's a one-trick pony. We know what he does. He goes forward and he goes straight to the front. House of Fun, look, he's a really honest type. He's finished in the top 4 his past 5 starts without winning. And the other horse running on Saturday, of course, is My Little Friend, in the wrong part of the track there, but will meet them much better on the weights on Saturday.
Wasn't a strong Group 3, but the winner is a good horse, Premier, so form should stack up reasonably, you would think.
Yeah, he was 4 from 4 so far this season. He was in the right part of the track on the rail. I think House of Fun started favourite that day, but Premier was far too good, and it should be a good form race going forward.
California Fortune's a horse on the way up, stepping up in class. That was a big win last time.
Terrific win last start. Untouched, just found the front, was able to control it, and you know, Matthew Chadwick didn't even need to pull the whip. Very similar to his other win, when he was able to dictate from out in front. That's the question mark really coming into Saturday. It looks like there's a lot of pace in this race, and that could really hurt him.
Okay, to the barrier trials, and for mine the most interesting horse in this race is Seven Heavens. From the Casper Found stable, formerly trained by John Gosden in the UK, a son of Frankel, who won 2 of his 7 starts there. This is his only trial leading into this race.
And it was a good trial. He copped a squeeze at the start and recovered pretty well. Ended up sitting outside the leader here and goes to the line pretty well untouched. I mean, he won 3 listed races in England over 1,400 metres. Not sure about the depth of this trial. We've only seen a couple of them run and they haven't run particularly well, so that's still to be proven. And of the trials on the day over the 1,000 metres, this was the 3rd quickest of 4. So a little bit of the unknown, but he looks like a nice horse going forward.
OK, there are a few of them, but you're keen on one that we haven't seen so far, Key Witness.
Yeah, he was outstanding last start and he hit the line so well. I really think there's going to be a lot of pace in this race with Fabulous One, Pavlovsky and California Fortune. I really think it sets up for the back markers. Dylan Moe should be able to drop him out the back from a really reasonable gate, and then he should be running over the top of them. So I think he's the one to beat. It is an even race, but just the way it should play out, I think he's the one I want to be on.
OK, so he's on top. What are the other 3 in the top 4?
We've got 7 Key Witness on top from House of Fun, who's just so honest and never runs a bad race. Number 11, Momentum Lucky, who's drawn well in barrier 5 and should get a good run for Umberto Rispoli. And number 10, Seven Heavens, is the unknown in the race, but he looks like a nice horse going forward.
Okay, so 7, 1, 11 and 10, Tom's numbers for race 10. If you want to get all of them, though, you can pick up your copy of the South China Morning Post if you're here in Hong Kong, or else you'll be able to look at them online on the South China Morning Post racing section. But, as mentioned before, we're a tick over halfway through the season here in Hong Kong, so who are the horses we should be following over the next 5 months?
A horse that I would like to get on, I suppose. Might not necessarily happen, but one of John Moore's, Rivet, he's taken a while, and you know, as John does really well with these European imports, he ran a good race in the Classic Mile. Even last time he ran a good race, but I just looking at the way he races and the way John's training him, I think that second half of the season he's a horse that's going to really improve. He's a Group 1 winner in England, so as a 2-year-old, but so you know as the class, but look, he's with the right man, and I think he's one to look out for.
I thought iVictory's performance on debut back this season was pretty good. He'd been off the scene for quite some time. He'd put on 50 pounds. He's not the most glamorous type, but he definitely needed to put on a bit of condition and just strengthen up. And I think it was probably a blessing in disguise. He had a minor problem. So I think he's come back really well, and I would expect him to go on his winning ways once again.
It's all iVictory now, 4 out of 5. This is a very comfortable win for iVictory.
Well, I got a fair few horses on their mark, but out of the horses here in Hong Kong at present, probably Win Beauty Win. I think he's got a little bit in front of him. A horse called Sacred Ibis, and Rule Thee that ran on the weekend.
Rule Thee pounced on the lead, moved a couple clear at the furlong. Ty Smart, Acclaim Light from the back now. Super Chic's clear, but it's all Rule Thee. 4 in front, Acclaim Light over Ty Smart for the Miners. Big win, Rule Thee.
Back end of the season, probably the nicest young horse I've got is a horse called Smart Patch, but he won't be seen till about June, July.
One horse that I really like so much is iVictory, which I had 2 winners on him, and I think John Si's making an amazing job with him, waiting for so long. After 6 months, the horse come back well, and I think this horse can reach very easy under rating.
Conti stands out as a horse who's still got a lot more to give this season. We've already seen, obviously, a couple of very good horses from the John Si's yard who are making their way through. I would have made Hot King Prawn a horse to follow, but he's probably only going to have one more race this season. So I think Conti we're going to see a little bit more of, and I think there's a fair way to go with him yet.
Conti in front, roundabout into second, but it's Conti 4-0. Conti wins again.
He'll be trying to make it 5-0 on Saturday as well too. He's one of the other stars to look forward to at the weekend meeting. So we don't have to wait long to see him. We don't have to wait long to see your horse to follow either. Nothing I like more.
No, I'm really stepping out on a limb here, tipping a horse who's won 6 of his 7 starts. But what I will say is I think he's going to win the Classic Cup. I think he's going to win the Derby. I think he's going to be a multiple Group 1 winner. I think he's already the best horse in Hong Kong. While not getting any awards for naming him as a horse to follow, I really think he's going to go on with it and be a real star of the Hong Kong racing scene. No
concerns the 1800 or the 2000 metres then?
No, I love the way he relaxes in his races. He's really versatile. He can go back, he can go forward. I don't think the 2000 metres will be any problem, and potentially he might be set for a race like the Hong Kong Mile going forward.
OK, well, my horse to follow I don't think is going to be quite as good as Nothing I Like More, but I do think he's got wins in store. I like this race as a form race. This is Encouraging, who I speak of. This was his second up run, but he had a decent break between runs, and at his first up run, he missed the start. You can completely forgive that. There's more to come from a fitness point of view with him. He had good form in Australia. He actually beat a horse called Prized Icon, a Victoria Derby winner. He's with Michael Freedman here in Hong Kong. Radiant Steed wins this race. Affluent Start finished second. Affluent Start split DB Pin and Mr. Stunning in a barrier trial. So I think this form will stack up. I think he'll improve fitness-wise, and I think there's more to come with Encouraging. So I was encouraged enough by that run to make him my horse to follow. So there are a few to look out for over the next few months, but we're nearly out of time for today's edition of HK Direct. Let's recap the details for Saturday's coverage. 10 races on the card. Of course, we'll preview the 10th, the Po Yarn Handicap, which is due off at 5:45. First is at 1 o'clock, and you can join the trackside team from 12:30. For more information, go to the website hkjc.com. You can also follow the lead-up, the race day itself, and the aftermath through Twitter at HKJC_racing. Tom, been a pleasure having you on the show. Let's hope that Key Witness can get up on Saturday for you.
Fingers crossed. Thanks very much for having me.
Tom Biddington there, our special guest on this week's edition of HK Direct. Make sure you join us next week on Thursday as well for HK Direct. We'll be looking at the Chinese New Year meeting with the Hong Kong Classic Cup, the feature race. But until then, it's goodbye.